this is DJT and welcome back to the next episode of Speak On It. You all know that I like to introduce the world to people who I think are incredible leaders. And today we have none other than Rendel Solomon.
Thank you for having me.
And I won't introduce you. I don't like to put titles on people. I don't like to introduce them by their title. But what I will say is, what I'll ask you is, who are you? Tell the people who you are.
I'm just a kid from the west side of Chicago trying to make a difference in this world.
Trying to make a difference. How do you do that?
How do I do that? So the key way that I do it right now is money.
Money.
Yeah, I work in the world of money. People like money.
I like it.
People like it. They want it. They need it.
Yeah.
They oftentimes don't have enough of it. In particular, folks in the community where I grew up, where poverty levels are the poverty level is high, but the dollar amounts that people make is just scary.
Yeah.
It's almost scary how little people make on average, and trying to feed a family of 3, 4, or 5.
Do you consider yourself to be successful, Rendel?
Yes. So,
and if so, like why? What's your definition of successful?
So I'm not going to plead the fifth on that question, but I will answer it this way. And I know you oftentimes will ask about quotes. There is one quote that I do like, and it's really simple about success being a journey. And so to answer the question, do I consider myself successful? I really don't like to use yes/no answers, but this really is a yes and, because I think that there are certain aspects of where I am, and I owe a huge tribute to my granny and my late mom and my dad and just people around me who've helped me get to this point. So I would say that I'm successful in certain areas, but there's still a lot more room to grow.
And so when you think about where you are today, though, you've had some success today. I always say that there are these unwritten rules of success, especially for a kid from the west side or a kid like me from the south side, where mom and dad didn't go to college and we didn't sit at the dinner table like this and swap the secrets.
You may not have had a dinner table.
Right. So there's unwritten rules that perhaps some other families talked about at the dinner table. When you look back over your life and you say, if only I knew then what I know now, right? Thinking about those unwritten rules, what's something that's really helped to propel you in leadership and success?
So there's two ways that I will answer that. The first thing I want to do is talk about the pie chart. I don't know if anybody else has talked about the pie chart.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So excited to be the first one to talk about pie. So pie is an acronym. And it stands for performance, image, exposure. And what it speaks to is on the performance piece, and this applies whether you have a corporate job or for anything you're trying to get accomplished amongst a group. So P is performance. It's just how well do you do what it is you've been asked to do, your skill, what have you been trained in. And you need to do that well, because that becomes sort of your entry into the game. Think of like your classwork. So getting that A in class is not enough. And I think that was one of my learnings growing up as well. I thought that if you just get good grades, everything else will fall into place. The I and the E stand for image and exposure. And so let me talk about that for a second. So when I ask people, with a split between 10%, 30%, and 60%, which one falls in which slice of the pie? I think people assume it's a trick question, so they try to decide what's what, but I can see them thinking about it. I won't ask you, I won't put you on the spot on your own show. But suffice to say, performance is not 60%. And a lot of people think that if I just do well at what I do, then I should be selected, I should win, and I should be successful. The unwritten rule is that the image and exposure piece combined represent the 90%, and their performance is just 10%.
So your expertise is about finances, and I asked my viewers.
I don't know if I'm an expert.
You are. I asked my viewers, I said, what is something that you want to know about? And they mentioned money, right? They did. And so I was excited, when you said that you do this. So one mistake maybe that people make when it comes to money, and one piece of advice that you'd give folks.
Wow, just one?
Just one. What can we do? One thing that we can do or stop doing in order to get on the path to financial freedom. If we can only do one thing or stop doing one.
I may have to sneak in too. I'll try to do one.
All right.
And let me tell you why it's tough to do the one. I almost did a radio show once, and full disclosure, I work at an SEC registered investment advisor, and so this is just my own personal views. They're not the views of my firm. Please consult an attorney, a tax accountant, or an investment advisor. What I realized about money is that people are terrified of it. They're terrified that they don't make enough. They're terrified they're going to lose what they have. They're afraid to be ashamed of what they make. They're afraid of they're ashamed of the mistakes that they may have made. They're afraid they won't understand what to do when someone's talking to them about how to manage money. So I try not to jump straight into advice, because the very first word I say, if it's confusing to someone, they go, oh, that's why I don't do it, so I gotta move. So the first piece of advice is just don't be afraid. So
it's interesting, and you have a relationship with money, is what I like to say. I'm in the business of asking people for money, and in that process I realized that I have an interesting relationship with money. And so if I ask somebody for $25,000, I get nervous, right? I get nervous.
I got my checkbook on me.
But to somebody else who has $25 million in the bank, $25,000 is nothing, and their relationship with money will be very different, and they can write the check pretty easily. So I like that.
The relationship piece is a challenge. So just don't be afraid. Now, one critical piece of advice, maybe not the first, I'm going to go straight to credit. The thing about credit is, by any means, pay that bill on time. This is what I would say. What people don't know is that simply paying on time makes up more than a third of the weight of your credit score. Just not being late. And a lot of people don't know that. And so they're trying to manage the cash flow and saying, oh, I can't make this credit card payment. I would say anything you can do to make that credit card payment. If you've used it, we can come back to whether or not you should even be using it that much. But if you've used credit, just pay on time. And never accept a no from someone who's not qualified to say yes.
I love that.
Never accept no from someone not qualified to say yes. The credit example is when you call up your credit card company and ask to have your limit increased or your interest rate reduced or to have a fee waived. The first person you talk to is always going to tell you no. But they're usually not authorized to tell you yes. Their only job is to say no to you. So you need to skip that person. And you need to say, can I speak to your supervisor, please? In a nice way. That's the image piece, right? In a nice way, be polite. Dominique, thank you so much. It was great talking to you, but can I please speak to your supervisor? Ask you. Thank you for doing this, Rendel. Anything you ask me, except for the $25,000, I'm likely going to do.
That's coming. That's coming. Another 10 years.
Give me a few years and I got you.
It's coming. That's coming. Well, thank you, my friend.
My pleasure.
Thank you all for watching this week. I want you to do just what Rendel did. I want you to find something that you are passionate about, right? And to use your voice, which has the power to change the world. So find that thing and speak on it. Have a good week.